Standing on the top now. No, nothing can move you.
Well, good day, good day. Welcome to another episode of the Bobby Brown Show on Digo. I'm your host, Bobby Bob TV Brown. What it do? And we got a lot of things to talk about. As a not a native New Yorker, but I've been here about 10 years, so you might as well call me a native. Yeah. New York embraces bigotry and segregation in 2021. Now, New York, particularly in New York City, it always been bigotry and racism. It always been some form of segregation. You got the Asian neighborhoods, you got the Chinese neighborhoods, you got the Arab neighborhoods, not that many black neighborhoods. You know, where when I say neighborhood, where we pretty much got the block on lock. We building businesses, we doing housing and thing. No, we get it taken away from us. But everybody else get to come in here and build. They even got a little Haiti in Brooklyn, and they got a little Jamaica in Queens. Every community gets to build build a legacy for their community, but the native blacks. But we'll get to that on another story. The story today is New York City. New York City has now required you to be vaccinated against COVID-19 to enter this building. This is shades of 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s with the white only sign. There's no freaking difference. No freaking difference. Now look here. Sound like Obama. Look, Joe, Sasha Malia. Joe, let me stop. We're going to talk about this thing, man, because this is wildly idiotic. I went to the mall just to go. I had what I was going to do when I get there. Boom, go to Moe's, get a little rice, beans, a little tofu. Sit in the massage chair for about 10, 15 minutes. Bada boom, bada bang. Might catch a movie, might not. I end up going to the store, getting some food, and coming home because this was weighing on my chest. Now, as you saw in the video earlier that I posted, in the mall, people were being turned away from eating in the mall. They had roped off the entire section of the restaurant area and pretty much had this sign in the front of the place. And this is on almost any establishment, especially an establishment that has food. New York City requires you to be vaccinated against COVID-19 to enter this business. Now, number one, you got vaccinated. That don't mean you're against COVID-19. Majority, I'm going to do a story on this. Israel has been the leader of vaccination, particularly the I don't think it's the Nova vaccine, but it's Pfizer. Yet they have the most cases of COVID is among the vaccinated. But you want to discriminate against people who are unvaxxed, and you don't have no clue in hell whether they got COVID or not. Your enemy is not the unvaxxed. Your enemy is the virus. You attack that virus by any means necessary. Problem is, they done sold you the bill of goods that the vaccination is the only way to fight this virus. And that's like saying this toothpick is the only way to win World War II. You ain't winning no war with no toothpick in World War II. You're going to get killed. You'll be lucky to break one off in one man's eye to blind him. Then they got up here, those 12 years of age or older. Why are you vaccinating 12 years old? They have been known to not get sick with this thing. Well, they can give it to somebody else. Everybody can give it to everybody else. Everybody. It's not just an internal disease. It's airborne. It can be on surfaces. It's out here. But you sticking these little kids in, God know what else, what they got in it. And I know I mean, you know, let me bring myself back up. I know I'm the dummy. I'm the dummy. I got both shots. I went in a restaurant, man. I was in Chipotle. I'm on this beans and rice thing now, you know. And I got hot. Decided to go to work a little early. Wanted to get some something to eat before I pop on in. And lo and behold, they're gonna card me with this vax thing. He gonna fix my food first and then ask me to show his card. Food, before you fix me food, you ask me for my ID. This folks, this is ridiculous. This is insane. You should lose money, Chipotle. Any restaurant putting these signs in there, you should feel the heat of no money coming into your account. People need to boycott every last one of y'all, because that's what we did in the 60s. With whites only restaurant. Now, don't get me wrong. We had a whites only and we had a colored only. Colored didn't mean black and brown. Colored actually meant black people. That's what colored mean. And you had a colored bathroom and a white's bathroom. White's bathroom a little bit nicer than colored bathroom. You had a colored theater and a white theater. You had this segregation going on. And look, folks, segregation has its purpose. But it shouldn't be the rule. It shouldn't be something that you enforce, and that if somebody decides to dip over into your side of the tracks, you want to hang them, or you want to beat them, or you want to run them out of town and scare the crap out of them to the point that they want to come here no more. That'll show that boy. That boy, I bet you won't come back here ever again after the whooping we got on him. Ain't that right, Hoss? Yeah, doggy. Bet you won't do that again, Niagara. I said Niagara. Facebook, YouTube, Niagara. Throwing that boy down here, boy. This is our neighborhood. This is white neighborhood. You going on right there to Africa Town. So I go and fuss this dude out. And I was about to do the same thing there, but the only reason why I decided to show my Excelsior pass, which is a pass to say I'm part of the club now. I'm part of the elite society. I don't want to be over there with them COVID people over there. I got my shot. I'm not a COVID person. Yes, you are a COVID person. Yes, you still can carry the COVID virus. Yes, you still can give somebody COVID. Yes, you can get COVID. And yes, you can end up getting hurt real bad and hospitalized real bad. And yes, you can die. And I think they're sitting up here lying to you about the numbers. A lot of people out here tell you all kind of issues that's going on in my life. Myself, I never had my heart flutters going like that until I got off caffeine. But sometimes this stuff get to be ridiculous. I had to go to my doctor, get checked out. Doctor told me, yeah, you got some issues going on with it, and gave me a little something to help deal with it. New York State, New York City in particular, has imposed harsh restriction on the unvaxxed. Right now, the freaking judge had to do a court order to stop them from firing everybody who don't have the vaccine working in the healthcare field. My question is, why are you firing them? You don't know if they got COVID. And what makes them any different from the person that got the vaccine that got COVID? Here's the difference. They may not have it. This person that got the vaccine may have it. What makes you think that they're more? And see, this is what I got to deal with the lefty media. Sign along with these fascist, bigot, totalitarian rules. Agreeing with it. Lefty media, lefty journalists who won't even have enough guts to go. They can go look at Flint, Michigan, and all that, but they won't go investigate to see whether ivermectin is really being used to help people. No, we're on a bias trip, and we want to sit there and just shun ivermectin, calling it horse pills. And you got people like the Humanistic Report, and yeah, I'm calling you out. The Rational National, and even Status Quo. Doing all this investigation on all these corruption and things like that in Flint, Michigan, which is fine. I appreciate them doing all this work, but won't even go and talk to these doctors and talk to maybe some of their patients who waive the client-patient privilege or, whatever, to see if these regimens are really being effective. Nope, they say it's not safe, and we just gonna take it at that. Once they approve that it's true, then we'll report it. Why you gotta wait till then? We're at war. You're at war with the virus. You're at war with the virus so bad that you're looking at your own troops as the enemy. You get so freaking paranoid that you think your own soldier, if he got his eyes a little slanted a little bit, you're going to think he is a Viet Cong, and he could be a freaking Asian American, have nothing to do with the Viet Cong, but you think just because he's in his rank, he could be a spy. Stuff is sickening. Let me calm down. Let's look at some of this stuff real quick, because this is hugely disgusting. It is bigotry. Can't call it racism, but you can call it classism, or you can call it medical racism. It's still segregation. You're separating. You're attacking the unvax like they're the enemy, including the president himself. Now, Trump was attacking people and saying all this stuff about the unvaxxed. You'll be celebrating, and you'll be on you'll be on his behind, and rightfully so. But now Joe Biden's going around here talking about this is ridiculous. Our patient is running thin. Who in the hell, I said hell, I'm sorry, Pastor. Who in the hell are you to tell us your patient is thin? The people voted you in. And then Cuomo going to pose these harsh restrictions on the state of New York before he get booted out. And don't get me wrong, folks, his career ain't over. That fool is going to try to do a reboot. He going to definitely do a reboot and try to go a full Anthony Weiner, and going to end up being worse. And maybe Tish James is helping him, which hurts me to my heart because I know Tish James. I work with Tish James. We were ready to push her for mayor at one time. Now she sits in the position to be the next governor. And the lady who took over Cuomo is not good as Cuomo. She just as bad. She's a Republican Democrat. They ain't got at least Cuomo got a little suave with him. At least that fool. And I think it's disgusting. Dude wear a nipple ring. What governor? You got governors wearing nipple rings. What kind of mess is this? And you gonna try to tell me about COVID, man? You the governor, you ain't got no tank top on. You sit up here doing these COVID meetings, and you got a freaking nipple ring sticking out all outside where everybody can see it. Freaking monkey walk by, he'll swing on it. Get out of here with this stuff, man. Freaking con artist. And this is the mess he imposed. He did this. Let's go to check out some of this stuff, man. Joe Biden said his patient is wearing thin. His patient is wearing thin. Ooh. Now, let's look at this. Local Human Rights Commission discriminating related to the coronavirus under New York State human rights law. Now, this law came into place because people were pointing out, calling Asians the COVID carriers. If you believe that you've been discriminated against because of perceived connection between your race, national origin, or disability, and the novel coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, you can file a complaint with the New York State Division of Human Rights. So everybody who gets ready to walk in to an establishment which they patronized before, and now they don't want to patronize you because you didn't get the shot, you need to file a lawsuit against them. Every last one of them. And I'm going to get myself in. I'm going to start going to as many restaurants as I can just to have them tell me no. Because what's going to happen is the Supreme Court going to strike this down, because this is medical racism, if you want to call it that. It is bigotry. It is segregation. And Joe Biden knows this, but he wants to plant the fear in you to the point that you're gonna lose your job, you'll lose your livelihood, you're gonna lose your house, you might lose your wife, which some of you, probably be happy to lose her. You're gonna lose everything if you don't get the shot. That fear, people have picked up that fear and actually going to get the shot based on the fear loss. Also, he can get his numbers up because he had a goal and he didn't meet the goal. And now it's almost time for the State of Union address in a few months, where he got to talk about what he did since he came in office, which ain't did jack. It's like Trump. He ain't do jack. Joe Biden didn't do jack. He helped the Asians become a protected class. He hooked the LGBTQ community up. He definitely ain't did nothing for black people, and we don't want to put him in office. Well, the brother gave us Juneteenth. Juneteenth was already a holiday. And what you get for it? Even a white bigot get paid. Even a white bigot to get paid on that day and don't have to go to work. So how that's benefiting you? Well, you got to get the brother. Man, that brother done had so many chances. He stood there right there on the stage at the Democratic Convention saying, black people, I hear you. If it wasn't for you, I would not be in the position. Well, what you going to do to change that? The woman in Tulsa, Oklahoma said, can you at least do an apology on behalf of your people for what they did to black people in Tulsa, Oklahoma? He looked at the woman like she lost her mind. What you say? Girl, you better get out my face with that mess. I ain't got to come down. And let me read this again. This is a human rights law from New York State. And the governor has violated that law by trying to get this executive order. It's not a freaking bill. It's an executive order forcing you to lose your job if you don't get the shot. It's all about the shot. Everything has been generated about this shot. Everything has been generated about making billions, putting a chemical in your arm. If it's that. Heck, you don't know. It could be water. It could be clear Kool-Aid. You don't know what the heck they put in your arm. You only assuming. Could be a placebo. Could be Bobobo. It could be Debo. You don't know what's in that concoction they put in your arm. Well, I seen Kamala Harris and all these, they got the shot. You don't know what the heck they got. It could have been a Hollywood needle that once you push it on the skin, it looked like you got a shot. You don't know. And you trying to follow behind that. Okay, I get my shot. No, if you're going to get a shot, you get the shot because you actually believe that it works for you. And you're going to give it a shot. And look, folks, don't get me wrong. This shot has been effective in keeping people out of hospital. From the first version of the virus. But the next so-called version of the virus, the Delta variant, and they done had 15 million variants since then. The African, South African variant. Oh, we got the Pluto variant. Oh, we got the Magic Strip Club variant. We got all these kind of variants coming out that people are going to be getting. There are going to be more. And they're going to keep telling you, you got to get this shot in order to fix the shot that we had 6 months ago ain't enough for this variant. You need to get a booster. And let me tell you something, that so-called virus will move faster than that vaccine. At least that's what experts on the mRNA has said. They said, we're going about this wrong. Now, look, I'm not here to pump the Jimmy Dore podcast and none of that. But he had a podcast with the doctor who started the mRNA. You should go take a look at that and listen to him. Now, let me tell you something, people. Let me get myself up here. I'm not in that program where I'm calling you a sellout and all that kind of stuff based on my job is to do content. If you agree with it, fine. If you don't, move along. You can agree to disagree. I don't mind. I'm not right all the time. You not right all the time. So whoop-de-doo. We gonna miss it. I still watch Status Quo, even though I don't agree with him about this siding along with the freaking bigot politicians of the powers and be, going around preaching this vax only philosophy. Vax is the only way. When he himself and a couple other people close to him called COVID, and I told him, look, let me tell you something that beat me. It may work for you. I don't know if they tried it or not, but how you going to tell me it don't work for me? Bro, I know what worked for me. If they want to sit there and lie to you and tell you the truth and you don't do a real investigation to find out the truth, that's your problem, because that investigation can save many lives. Still watch, dude. Still watch Mikasa Sukasa. I still watch Tim Black. Of course, I'm going to watch my main man, Information Man show. You know, and I still watch Jimmy, depend on the topic or subject. He still needs to start talking about black issues, or you could forget about black people supporting the People's Party. They shouldn't and never will. Ain't no blacks joining that party, no matter who you and Nick Brandon think you are. If you ain't got no black agenda, you don't need to be expecting black people to join you. And if you ain't got black people joining you, you ain't winning no elections. Because even the progressive movement don't get out the vote like we do. But that's besides the point. He had this person on there that created the technology for the mRNA virus. I suggest you go look at it. It ain't got nothing to do with the commentators. It got everything to do with who's on the show. That's what I'm looking at. Who you got on the show? And the guy had some profound things saying we basically doing this wrong and we're going to end up hurting ourselves more than help. And Israel is proof of that. But let me get back to this. I watch whoever the heck I want. Nobody tell me who to watch. And I treat individuals in the commentary land or YouTube land or whatever you want to call it. I treat them just like I treat politicians. When you do right, I got you. I'm gonna big you up. Don't mean I support you. When you do wrong, I'm coming for the head. That's just the way I am. And when I don't see you talking about my issues, I got a problem with you personally. And look, like my ex-wife, a lot of things we didn't agree with, but at the end of the day, I still love that woman. She get on my last doggone nerves to the point that we ain't together, but to this very day, I still love them, both of them. We just ain't going down that road ever again, but I love them both. Got a great relationship, one. The other one, I don't know what the heck is. She's so mad in her anger, resentment, and animosity that she don't believe in forgiveness and meetings of the mind. You ain't gonna never have the same direction. You may not have the same direction now, may not have the same vision, but you can find a common goal to agree on and work on that as a team. Until then, I can work with you on this, but you need to kind of look over here where I am and see what I'm going on too. If you want me to help you with these issues over here with you, why don't you look over here where I'm at and help me with our issues since we're a team? That goes for Jimmy Dore. That goes for Glenn Greenwald. That goes for anybody. Sam Cedar. That goes for Status Quo. That goes for TYT. That goes for anybody in so-called lefty media. Jackson Hinkle. I don't care who it is. I want to see how much you care about black people. You care about the Latinos. I haven't heard too many stories about Haiti. I haven't heard too many stories about the bad water over there in Windsor, Virginia, where a lot of black people live at. Let me get back on this. We're still talking about discrimination in New York City. Let me get back to this. So I'm basically saying this law was created for you to clap back on anybody who's discriminating against you against the coronavirus. I'll repeat it again. If you believe that you've been discriminated against because of a perceived connection between your race, now this was pretty much made for the Asian race because people was really ridiculing them, and that's wrong. National origin, again, Asia, or disability, and the novel coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, you can file a complaint with the New York State Division of Rights. So y'all need to get to complaining. Those people who don't trust the vaccine, and you have every right not to trust it. You have every right to say no. International laws back you up in that. This is against international laws. But then again, America is always violating the international laws and pulling their pants down and smacking it behind, telling the world to kiss it based on their money, power, and strength. Right now, we got a stranglehold on a lot of countries because they do have a vaccine, and these other countries got to use conventional methods. But guess what? The countries that are using conventional methods, war-torn methods, medicine that's already been out that they repurposed to deal with this stuff, they getting less people dying than the United States. Let me continue. The New York State human rights law protects individuals from discrimination based on a wide variety of personal characteristics, including race, national origin, and disability. HRL prohibits discrimination against individuals who are assumed to have been exposed to coronavirus based on these traits. These protections cover employment, housing, education, and places of public accommodation. For New Yorkers concerned about the coronavirus-related discrimination, public places such as hotel, restaurant, transportation service, and retail stores cannot deny you interests or access to goods or service based on the perception that your national origin, race, or disability indicate possible exposure to the coronavirus. Your employer cannot fire you, send you home, or tell you not to come to work because they think you may have been exposed to the coronavirus based solely on your race, nationality, or disability. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're discriminating on you just because you didn't get a freaking shot. And you can put that in the count. You can put that in the disability section, because you may not have the ability to get the shot because of medical purposes. By the way, if you can invoke religious reasons why you shouldn't be denied. I'm telling you, folks, mark my word, to this very day, it is 1:24 a.m., September the 28th, 2021. The Supreme Court is going to strike that thing down, but Joe Biden don't care. He want to scare the hell out of you to the point that you go ahead and get that shot. Also, his numbers can go up and him probably reaching his goal. So he can sit there and say at the State of the Union, we met our goal of getting people vaccinated. And these people are going to try to get you vaccinated by hook or crook, or by any means necessary. I can see Joe Biden out looking out the window like Malcolm X, making sure if your employer terminates you or send you home based on what is later found to be discrimination policy, your employer could be responsible for your missed wages. If you're wearing a face mask as a precaution, you're still protected against discrimination. The human rights law prohibits discrimination based on perceived connection between race, national origin, or disability, or possible exposure to the coronavirus. Possible exposure to the coronavirus. Possible. See, they want to punish you because they believe that you set yourself up to get exposed to the coronavirus. Everybody is in a position to get exposed. Well, I got the shot though. You know what I mean? People got the shot. Well, you can't say they protected. You can say they may not overwhelm the hospital. You can say they could probably handle it a little bit better than a person who's not protected. See, I don't preach going around not being protected. I tell you to go get something. There's many other ways. And I tell you that you need to find out about other ways of protecting yourself, because nobody talks about early treatment as much as they should. And there's multiple early treatment methods that you can utilize. And we need to have so-called lefty journal, even black media need to go out there and stop using these talking points of a certain administration or a certain political party or a certain federal government, and start going out there investigating to see if this stuff true, instead of just stop believing everything somebody else say. Go do a real investigation. See, I'm not a journalist, I'm a commentator, but I do my research. And when it comes to this, I know what helped me beat COVID in March going into April 2020. I know what helped beat me. And I try to tell other people, this is way before there was a vaccine. I was telling people, don't let them sit there and tell you that you got to stay home and wait it out and hope your oxygen level don't go home before you decide to come into the hospital. Man, you better take something. Go ask your doctor about ... See if you can get ... because a ... helped me. It may help you. ... is not a cure. I'm not saying it is, but it did help me beat it within a certain amount of days. Heck, most of my symptoms was gone in less than 24 hours after taking ... It may help for you. May not, but at least look at it. Something is better than you staying at home, hoping and wishing and praying, taking Theraflu and all that kind of your body hurting, you sweating, and you can't freaking breathe. I know you're saying, Robert, why are you all still on this stuff? Because I had people who I know and love died because of foolishness like this. People don't want to investigate the people who went through the process, or the doctors. They don't want to investigate. No, you want to call them quacks right off the bat. Idiots. Quacks. This is dangerous. Horse paste. Who the hell told you that Joe Rogan was taking horse paste? And I'm not sitting up here supporting Joe Rogan, but who told you that? I would side with Joe Rogan if he decided to sue people for smearing him for saying he was taking horse paste. I would want to sue your butt too. Yes, there is ivermectin for animals. Yes, always have been. It's always been for human, but we realize that if we up the dose on it, we can actually keep a lot of these animals safe from viruses, bacteria, all kind of worms, just by upping the dose because of the weight of the animals. So no, you don't take your behind to a freaking feed store. And there was nobody even really doing that. But they just make this stuff up. Lefty so-called media that y'all listen to, that y'all support, that y'all give money to, send up here to line in your freaking face. They're taking talking points for A&P or NPR. Heck, they even using talking points of MSNBC, CNN, and NBC, ABC, CBS. Then when somebody that's a celebrity start to joke this person for taking unconventional methods that work, they want to mock them and joke them. Bro, you can mock me all you want. It reminds me of a story in the Bible about the blind man when Jesus healed the blind man, and everybody knew this man was blind. They knew he'd been there for decades at that pool of water. And Jesus healed the man. You ain't got to believe this, but I'm just telling you the story. Jesus healed the man. And the religious people in town was so mad. They didn't want to call him a quack because Jesus healed him. And that man said, look, y'all can mock and joke me and say I didn't get healed, but bruh, I see exactly what kind of shoes you got on. I see your ugly wife over there. Woo, dog, she's so ugly, I wish I need to go back to being blind. Good God almighty, she ugly. I ain't want to see that when I got my eyes open. I mean, you can't argue with the person that have an experiment, folks. A man with an experience is never at the mercy of a person with an argument. You can argue till you red, blue in the face, dude. I know what helped me beat COVID in the end of March going into April 2020. And the same regiment helped a lot of other people beat it. And no, they're not going to do trials. They're not going to do tests on it because there's no money in it. I mean, they are doing it, you know, don't get me wrong, but you're not going to get the real high face, fast peer studies and all that kind of stuff. And it's peer studied now. The stuff I use have been peer studied, reviewed, and have been proven. To the point that once they find out they were getting the dosage wrong in emergency use, because the medication that I use were not intended to be for emergency use. It was intended to be early treatment within the 5 days of having symptoms. When they find out they got it wrong, the federal government got it wrong, the FDA got it wrong, and emergency doctors got it wrong because some dumb fool told them by any means necessary, emergency use, give them whatever you can, try to keep them alive. No, that's not going to do it. These medications, that's like telling somebody who got cancer, take this pill and you'll be cured. Take this aspirin. It's not going to work. Guys, I want you to see this up here. I want you to screenshot it. Because if you're in New York, you got a weapon to clap back. Now, like I said, what's going to happen is going to get struck by the Supreme Court. But Joe Biden and the rest of these numbnuts, they don't give a crap. They just want to make sure they hit their goal of getting these shots in people on. If we got to scare the hell out of you, we're going to scare the hell out of you. This is a war. This is a pandemic of the unvaxxed. What the heck? Man, if you don't go sit your senile... Let me calm down. If you're wearing a face mask, if you have been harassed or threatened because somebody think you have coronavirus, call 911 and contact law enforcement to report the incident immediately. I repeat, if you have been harassed, threatened because somebody thinks you have coronavirus. Folks, somebody telling you you're going to lose your job is a threat. Matter of fact, it's a promise. They're promising. How you going to fire me and you have not proved I have not had COVID and don't plan on having it? I stand in the belief of being healed. I pray, I fast, I take supplements, I take vitamins, I eat right. It's not a disease that you're going to have with you. It's not VD. It's not syphilis. It's not herpes. It's not like you're not going to have coronavirus forever when you get it. But they treat you like you do. They treat you like you got herpes. Because when that dude find out you got herpes, I don't care how fine and beautiful you are, he is out because he fear. He have no knowledge on how you can live. Same thing with people who had AIDS. Man, I met this beautiful girl one time, man. Beautiful. We went out and had dinner the whole 9 yards, and in the dinner, at the dinner, so I'm thinking, man, it's going to be a good night. Good God Almighty, she'll fine, pot out everywhere. Good dinner. Good romantic walk. Virginia Beach, Virginia. And then she leaned over and she said, Robert, I got to tell you, you probably won't even want to go out with me after I tell you for another date. I'm like, go out? Shoot, I'm trying to go somewhere. It's like we standing in front of about 10 hotels on this beach. I'm trying to go, and I ain't tell her that, but you know what I mean. She said, yeah, I'm HIV positive. Boy, my stomach dropped. See, I didn't know, and I got to understand, folks, you got to understand, no matter who it is, whether they got HIV, whether they got herpes or whatever, these people still need to be loved. They still got to go on with their life. People still got, but most people going to shy away from them because they haven't been educated properly on these things. And I'm sad for the people who have it. You can't go around. You can't tell somebody on the first date, hey, I got herpes, because it might not be a second date. So what people do, because of fear, they lie or they don't say anything. They cover it up. And the number one reason for people lying is fear. Fear is the number one motivator of lies. Why? Why do people lie? They lie because if I told you the truth, you still may not accept me, and things going to change if I tell you the truth. That's why I have always been around my friends and family. I always try to have an open door, honest policy for them and not judge them, because it could be me. It could be me. I mean, you out there tricking on the street. I mean, I'm not going to judge you because you out there tricking on the street. I mean, look, let me tell you something. I ain't tricking in the street, and I'm not going to, I don't endorse you tricking on the street, but let me tell you something. People out there making bank. Sex workers out there making bank. Some of these girls out here making more money than NBA players. And those who are organized with it making bank. Do I endorse it? Nah, I'm not. I mean, to me, go get a job, get a career. And some of these women do that until they get a job and get a career. So, like I told you last time, there's a scripture in the Bible say, choose this day whom you're going to serve. It's your choice. What I look like hating you or shunning you because you decide to do that. Just like with people in the LGBTQ community. I'm not down with the program, but I'm not going to hate you and shun you because you happen to be part of the LGBTQ community. See, my whole point is you're human. You're a human that need love like everybody. You need friendship. You need somebody to embrace their arm around you. Because not to have it could cause you to go nuts. People who out here dealing with depression, bipolar. When I found out my wife was bipolar, I wasn't trying to leave her. Her bipolar drove me away, but I wasn't trying to leave her. I mean, because she got in the point where she feared me. Or she thought I was going to do this and thought I was going to do that. And to the point where we couldn't be around each other no more. But I never gave up on her. She had to get the divorce. I didn't get the divorce. I knew she was sick. I knew the sickness could be managed. Anyway, let me get off this. The point is, if you have been harassed or threatened because somebody thinks you got coronavirus, when people sit there and tell you you ain't going to be able to do something because you ain't got the shot, having the shot in America basically says that you got it. To the point that the president pointed the finger at the unvaxxed as if they are carriers of the virus, when the vax are just as much carriers of the virus than anybody else. Now, this is from dhr.ny.gov, coronavirus discrimination policy. You can download it in all kinds of languages, Creole, French. Anyway, let's go to the next one. So, folks, in New York, this is New York State law. Now, how in the world are they going to pose these restrictions when the New York State law totally goes against it? This is a law. Here's New York City. COVID-19 and human rights. Last updated July the 2nd, 2020. Of course, they're going to update it. They're not going to leave it as is. Fear about COVID-19 is not an excuse for harassment or discrimination. You get that? Fear of COVID-19 is not this is on the www.one.nyc.gov website. Just put in COVID-19 and human rights. They got a big old poster in purple saying fear about COVID-19 is not an excuse for harassment or discrimination. Bruh, every time you tell me that I gotta have a card in order to eat here is discrimination. It's no more different than me coming up to your whites only restaurant and you looking at my skin saying you can't eat here. Folks, do you know that a lot of white people back then thought just about being around black people could cause sickness and disease to come into their neighborhoods? There's certain parts of the country, racist countries, that they ask, especially in Germany. In Germany, when my cousin had her little daughter get off the plane, she said the Germans was checking her to see if she had a tail. Discrimination. Now they updated. Let's see if they changed it now. Harassment and discrimination on the basis of race, national origin, age, or disability, including having COVID-19 or any other serious illness. How about including not having it? How about including not getting the vax and still COVID free? Don't have the virus, never had the virus, don't plan on getting the virus. And even if I do, I decide to stay home and wait it out like we've been doing. According to this law, it is illegal under New York City human rights laws. In recent months, we have seen a sharp increase in instances of hostility and harassment directed at Chinese or other Asian communities relating to COVID-19 anxiety. How about you and your president, our president, increasing the anxiety amongst the unvaxxed? Isn't that not just as bad as you going out attacking Asian in the Asian community? It's still discrimination. You can call it whatever you want. It is discrimination. You're denying me resources based on whether I got the vaccine or not. Well, they're not denying you resources. You can still go get the food, but you got to take it home. You sound just like those white bigots in North Carolina and South Carolina and Virginia and all points in between. We don't mind your blacks coming over here, patronizing us, give us your money. I mean, even then, they didn't even want that because they kept their money within their community, which is a good thing. Keep your money within your community. Go eat in your establishment. And black folks, you should not be siding with these medical bigots denying people food and services and ability to eat in your restaurant. You shouldn't, because it's going to bite you in the long run when they overturn this thing, and you're going to be begging for people to come to your restaurant. They sitting up there, they have you out here denying folks a sandwich. A ham sandwich with cheese, pickle on the side, and a Coke. You can't eat that here. Why? The law. Man, screw you and your laws. There were Jim Crow laws. We had to fight against Jim Crow laws. We bum rushed the counters and we sat there and let those fools pour coffee on us, put sugar on us and everything. Got scolded, spit on, pissed on at the lunch counter. We had no problem with whites coming in our establishment. The Commission of Health Rights, the Mayor's Office for Prevention of Hate Crimes, and the Mayor's Office of Immigration Affairs are coordinating closely to educate the public about the rights and protection in light of COVID-19 related to stigma and hate crimes. Well, you need to look in the freaking mirror because you got a stigma on the unvaxxed. You assume the unvaxxed will be ticking time bombs. Joe Biden said the unvaxxed are putting people in mobile morgues. How is an unvaxxed person, just because they decided I'm not getting your freaking vaccine, it was too quick, too fast, I don't trust it, I don't trust you, I never did trust you, I know your record with black people, don't you think just because you got an Obama makeover that I trust you, I don't trust you for nothing. You was a bigot, always been a bigot, and always will be a bigot, and here you go, showing it. You just a lighter version of Trump. I don't trust you. I didn't trust Trump vaccine. You didn't trust Trump vaccine. Guess what? I didn't trust Trump vaccine, and I don't trust yours either. If you have faced harassment or discrimination in housing, at work, or in public places, contact the commission by filling out our online form or calling 212 for blah, 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 blah. Discrimination and harassment due to COVID-19 are illegal in New York City. COVID-19 employment protection. Last updated July the 2nd, 2021. Now, why have they not updated this? It's September the 28th. Because they are hiding the laws from you, and they got you thinking this other thing is the law. Based on current available information, the commission considers actual or perceived infection with COVID-19 to be protected as disability. Listen to this, because remember the other laws say including disability. Based on current available information, the commission here in New York City considers actual or perceived infection with COVID-19 to be protected as a disability under the New York City human rights law. Now, question, if you protecting people who actually got COVID or may proceed to have the infection, why are you so hard on unvaxxed people who don't have COVID? Why are you making them suffer? Employers must not discriminate against or harass employees with actual or perceived infections with COVID-19 or based on an actual or perceived history of such infection. It is also illegal for an employer to harass or discriminate against any employee based on the presumption that they have contracted or are more likely to contract COVID-19 due to the actual perceived race, religion, national origin, disability, or another protective status. In response to the current public health crisis posed by COVID-19, the Commission has adopted the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission Guidance, the Pandemic Preparedness in the Workplace and America with the Disability Act. Originally published on October 9, 2009, and reissued in March 21st, 2020. In general, compliance with the EEOC guidance will satisfy employers' obligation with respect to disability protection under NYCHRL as they're related to COVID-19. The Commission also adopted a specific portion of the EEOC guidance, what you should know about COVID-19 and the ADA. In other words, if you think you got COVID, you automatically fit under that protective status. God, man. See, folks, they don't show you this. I'm dealing with mainly New York. I don't know what's going on in your state. I live in New York, so I'm going by New York. And New York is really becoming really totalitarian, fascist with this thing. And the new governor is putting on her goose step boots. This is why you got to go over these laws and stop listening to what you hear on TV. Same thing. This is why you got to stop spitting this foolishness out your mouth. You're marking medication, but you really stand up for the vaccine, and you don't know what that's going to do in the future, and you don't know what it's actually doing now, and you don't know if the numbers are true or not. These people cook the books in it like crazy. But it's FDA approved. So is cigarettes. So is the standard American diet, the sad diet that's killing everybody with heart attacks and high blood pressure. Guys, I'm done with this particular video. Let me bring myself up. I don't think I got no more on that particular line. Here you got right here. And this was March 10th, 2021, May 10th. Governor Cuomo proposed legislation to stop discrimination against vaccinated individuals. Well, let's see what this now shameful former governor had to say about this situation.
There's a situation with situations where people are discriminating against people who got a vaccine, which is almost inexplicable to me. There's a situation with summer camps saying, if you are vaccinated, you cannot go to that camp. If you're vaccinated, you can't be a staff member at that.
So he's saying people are going around there discriminating against people who have been vaccinated. Now, I don't know who been doing that. I think this guy, man, this guy's a legendary bald-faced liar just like Trump, man. This guy lies like a Persian rug. Yeah, man, this guy lies like a cheap wig that a black girl got from the beauty supply store. Beverly Johnson, 1B. I want that Beverly Johnson 1B. Oh, no, I don't want that. I ain't got no money for no human wig. I want the synthetic. This guy lied, man. I don't know if nobody's saying that, but he got to hear no excuses. We're proposing a law to stop discriminating against people who have the vaccination. Well, why are you not? But yeah, you're going to turn around and do the same thing that they did. You're going to pose laws to stop people from being discriminated who are vaccinated, which don't make sense to me. But you're going to discriminate against the people who are unvaxxed.
We can't be in a situation where we're full-throated encouraging people to get a vaccine and then have people saying, if you get a vaccine, you can't participate in this activity. I want to propose a law that says you can't discriminate against the person who has a vaccine. I understand the anti-vaccine argument very well. We've been through this before. Dr. Zucker and I,
you don't understand.
We mandated the measles vaccine a couple of years ago. I understand the anti-vaccine argument.
They mandated a measles vaccine a couple of years ago. I've been here over 10 years. I ain't never heard that. Ever. Sky. Whoo. Woo. Woo the lies. Woo the lies. Woo! Ric Flair, woo! The lies that comes out of this guy's mouth.
In my opinion, there is no science to it. There is no science to it. You can have a theory.
In his opinion, there's no science to it. How you can say, in your opinion, there's no science to it? You're not a freaking scientist, so stop using your opinion in this mess. Now, it doesn't make sense. I agree with him on that. It doesn't make sense for you to discriminate against the vaccinated. And no more does it make sense for you to discriminate against the unvaxxed, Cuomo, which you started this whole mess. You should be held for murder of hundreds of thousands of elderly people who you threw into COVID patients into the nursing home, knowing that they're the highest among those with comorbidities. Guys, I don't see how y'all get charmed by this con artist, man. This guy been a con artist since day one. And I'm not originally from New York, but I knew this guy was a con artist since he was in the doggone Clinton administration.
You can have a belief, but you can't use that to make public policy without science and without data.
Now, vaccine passport. Why do they call it vaccine passport? There ain't no freaking passport. Get out of here. Tracking COVID vaccination. Anyway, I'm done with this particular video. Let's chit chat and sum it up from here. As you can see, there's state New York laws that don't allow you to do this. If they don't allow you to do this to the vax, coming from the own governor's former governor, the murderer in chief himself, the slaughterhouse president himself, for him to say that just now, but yet he can impose harsh sanctions on the unvaxxed, people who probably never had COVID, or people who probably had COVID and it was advised not to get the vaccine because, according to studies, that's why I say you guys got to go do your own study. According to studies, man, you know, your antibodies got you at a point where that particular variant don't affect you. Now, what about this new variant? I don't know. But the guy with the mRNA technology says that no, according to him, no, you should not be messing with this vaccine if you already went through that process, because you should be in a position of immunity. Now, I'm not telling you don't do that. You go see what your doctor has to say. Your doctor may have something different. But I'm saying this, first of all you people who are shunning and shaming conventional methods, wartime methods, repurposed drugs that has been used for other things that has been found to be effective against COVID in a inpatient, outpatient setting. Let's get massive results that doctors who would not dream. Their number one goal is to make sure you stay alive. Their number one goal is not to kiss up to the behind of the CDC and the World Health Organization and the FDA. Their number one job is, if they can find a way to keep you alive, their job is to find it and make it happen. That's what they took the oath for. And when the doctors say this is going to help you, guess who I'm trusting? My doctor, because he's been helping me all these years. And what doctor want to put his license on the line messing with something that he don't believe works? Yet you got all these other organizations always running retraction, always saying we were wrong about this, we were wrong about that. We're wrong by HCQ on the doses. The doses were killing people. And we come to find out low doses does help fight against. We were wrong. The news media need to stop lying and stop making a mockery out of repurposed medication like ivermectin. And it's not just ivermectin. Most of these medicines are a combination of multiple medicines that make these things work, not just one. But you won't go investigate. All you do is sit there and put up the word plastered on your show, horse medicine. You realize how much of a agent of death you've become doing that? Because you're discouraging and shunning people from something that could possibly work and that has been proven to work in other people. No. Do not just go get the vaccine. You don't know if that thing is going to work or not. Like I said, Israel has done it the most. And they got more COVID victims among the vaccine than the unvaxxed. Now, my point of this show is you cannot fall for the fear game. You just can't. It will hurt you more than help. You can't let these politicians fear you. You can't let these news people, include myself, fear you. You can't just take them for face value, not even me. Go do your own research. Now, I gave you the law in New York. And I'm letting you know this current thing that they're doing is bumping up against that law. But sometimes people will put that out there. They'll push the fishing rod and the hook on a reel just to hook you. And then they go take a picture with you and throw you back in the water. These people are hooking you, telling you that certain things don't work. And they haven't really truly investigated to see if it does work or not. They're just doing talking points. Just like the lamestream media. Yet they call themselves the new media or lefty media or alternative media. Yeah, but you ain't no different from them doing this bull crap. You're just not. Number two, you got to always find out and see if it's true. There's currently a law that says that these restaurants and none of these places can do that. Law. These laws haven't been struck down, haven't even been updated. It's still there. But they believe putting these up, you're not going to be smart enough to find out what the law actually said. That's why I am a Legal Shield member and I promote Legal Shield. I sell Legal Shield because people need to know what's their rights. They'll be able to pick up the phone. $25 a month. Pick up the phone. That's just one service, man. You get unlimited phone consultation, advice. You get representation of somebody trying to take advantage of you or trying to cheat you or trying to keep a legal situation from becoming a legal crisis, unlimited document reviews, representation for traffic ticket and moving violation. You get a chance to get your will done. You get 75 hours of trial time. If you need to sue somebody or somebody need to sue you, they got emergency access just in case of stop and frisk like that. You can invoke your Miranda rights and have the attorney deal with the officer instead of you running your mouth. That's why I promote these services. I don't promote it good up here, but it's important to be able to pick up the phone and ask an attorney and see if it's true. Because he'll tell you, no, that's not. He could tell you, have you been to this website? Go read that. So I'm here to tell you that it's not true. This is a fear game to get you to get the vaccine so you can go along and get along and live so-called happy. So the federal government can take you down a position that you probably wouldn't have never went unless fear was over your head. In all reality, the fear is just a smokescreen. Once you find out the reality of the situation, you start walking in a little faith. And what I want people to do, especially dealing with this coronavirus situation, is you need to have faith. You need to have faith that there's more than one way to treat COVID, even if you have to search it out yourself. Talk to a bunch of doctors. Go look at some of their studies. I'm looking at a study from NYU Langone recently about those who were hospitalized that took HCQ, zinc, and azithromycin, low dosage, and the people who were hospital, majority of them got out of hospital. These are people who are already bad off. Now, this was way, way, way before they came out with the vaccine. That was the highest number of recovery out of anything. But then Once they started giving it to people in the outpatient setting, come to find out over 90% of the people were end up recovering from COVID. Not a cure, but it is a help. You don't have to sit at home and wait. Some of you people right now are catching this variant and was told to stay home. I'm saying, ask your doctor on what kind of supplements or whatever that you can take. So me, I take quercetin zinc every 2 days. I was taking it every day during the height of the pandemic because it was crazy here, but it helped me get through. You know, I had HCQ, azithromycin, and zinc at the end of March, and man, that thing did wonders for me and a whole bunch of other people. But they wasn't reporting it. Sometimes they'll forbid people to report that. Then I was told, since you can't get ACQ anymore, look at these other zinc ionophores, ECGG or quercetin, and use it the same way and start a prophylactic process. So I started taking it every 2 days because you want to get too much zinc in your body. And the science of the whole thing is the zinc ionophore kicks in the door for the zinc to get in to kill the virus, and the azithromycin clean up the crime scene, so to speak. It's simple stuff. It's a combination of three. The quercetin is a vessel channel, a blood channel, opener into the blood channel for the zinc to get in. Without some kind of ionophore, the zinc, all you just doing is taking zinc. It's not going to get rid of it. It's not going to help you in your fight against COVID. But if you take it proper amounts, the proper way, it is very effective against COVID. They're not going to suggest it because it's old medicine. And they need to make money off early treatment too. So they got to figure out, okay, we got the vaccine. Now we got to get the early treatment locked down because we need to make money on both ends. Problem is they want to shun this other medicine because it's so freaking cheap. You know how much I paid for all three of my meds? $25. $25. Kept me out of the hospital. Open lungs in less than 8 hours. My lungs were tight and opening right up. Fever broke in less than 24 hours. I was back to eating. I didn't get around my family for another 2 weeks because they told us 2 weeks, but I was feeling freaking great after a few days. Thank God. Thank God. So if you're unvaxxed and you're rather lean on early treatment than get vaccine, hey, that's your option. There are options. Don't let them tell you that they're not. But other people are going to tell you there's no other option. The other options haven't been tested. Who told you that lie? There you go, not doing your investigation again. And whether they have not been tested or not, I know what helped me. You think I'm sitting there waiting for y'all to come with a trial or some kind of test or something like that? Fool you on that. You said the medicine's safe, right, Doc? Quercetin, zinc, safe? You say I can get it from any health food store? Bam, have at it. I'm going to get some today. I keep it stocked in here. The other day I wasn't feeling too well. One of the boys on the job passed out over COVID. Just went flat out. He been shot twice. Ended up in the hospital for almost a week. He made it through. His testimony is, if I wouldn't have got that shot, I probably wouldn't have made it through, which is true. But had you been taking something on a consistent basis, or the moment you felt symptoms, had you had anything to help you with that, then you probably wouldn't have never went to the hospital in the first place. I keep my quercetin and zinc in my bag. Because as soon as I feel like I'm getting a fever or stuffy nose, pop, I'm taking them. And that's what I did one night. I started feeling kind of queasy. I took it, and by the end of the day, I was out. Anyway, I'm done. Find out what your local jurisdiction or your state is saying about COVID discrimination, because it may be the thing you need to file a class action lawsuit, not only against the federal government, but also your state and local government. This is discrimination. You should not be denied. You should not be cast out. You should not be ostracized. You should not be ridiculed or put down because you won't get the vaccine. You have every reason to doubt it. And that don't make you anti-vax. What's up? What's wrong with these people? That don't make me anti-vax because I don't get a vaccine. Now, mind you, I got both vaccines. But just because a person don't get this vaccine doesn't make them anti-vax. They probably been taking vaccines since they was kids. So how the hell you gonna call them the anti-vaxxers? No, they just anti this vax because a little too quick, fast, in a hurry. I ordered a steak and you come bring me a double cheeseburger from McDonald's. You're so fast food with this thing, people got their doubts. And black people should have doubts because we don't have a history of vaccines. In the history worldwide of shooting people up with stuff don't work out right. Man, they were testing and anyway, let me get off the subject, man. Let me get off the subject. I'm done. Don't let them discriminate against you. And if you need be, I will screenshot these particular pictures and I will tell the person who's denying me access, bruh, what's your name? Jake, you do realize you're denying me my rights to eat in this establishment, my rights to do this, my rights to watch this movie, my rights. I still got my mask on. You deny me the rights. You are discriminating against me, assuming that I had COVID. Now, let's say I had COVID. You still don't have no right to discriminate against me. Now, if I got COVID, I need to stay my butt home because I don't want to spread it. That's obvious. Stay your butt home if you got it. You don't go out to the movie theater, nothing like that. Stay your butt home. But they can't just assume. You got to stop these people in the track and you got to clap back. And you got to say, Joe, all right, you work for Ally Universal Security Company, right? You work at the mall, 6:30. I'm writing this down because in a few weeks, your company is going to be hearing from my attorney. And if we have to file a civil suit against you and this company, then you can. Either you let me in or don't. Now, me, I'm letting you in. Hey, I see the law. I mean, if they want to fire me because I let you in, I'll join you in the class action lawsuit because now they're discriminating against me. I have no right to hold you back from sitting with these people eating a sandwich. I don't. I can't assume you got COVID. And again, even if you did, you're still protected under law. Guys, I'm gonna get off this. This is Bobby Brown, with the Bobby Brown Show on the go. I'll holler at you on the next one. Guys, don't let people fool you. It is so important. The number one, find out your rights about any given situation. Number two, find out how you can execute your right. And number three, have an attorney by your side to exercise your right, to write that letter to that company, to file that class action lawsuit or a civil suit or whatever. Problem is, most people don't have that. They check their checkbooks before they check their rights, or they think legal aid is going to help them with that. This is why I offer Legal Shield. You want to know more about Legal Shield? Inbox me at bobtvnyc@gmail.com. I'll send you some information, a video, and if you want to learn more about the membership and get the membership, I've been with the membership for over 10 years, and I would never stop. If I had to deal with all these bills, one of these bills is going to get cut off. I don't need Spotify. I'll go back to downloading MP3s and put it on a little iPod. I don't need that Spotify. Spotify is $15 a month. I don't need Amazon. That's another $15 a month. I'm spending $30 a month on something that ain't going to serve me like fighting for my rights, protecting my legal rights. Now, most of us can afford all that stuff, including the membership. The membership in my state is $24.95, and the things that you get for $24.95 is ridiculous, man. The value on it is thousands of dollars, and you're getting it for $25. And yeah, they can afford it too, because they got over 4.5 million paying $25. They can give you the best attorney for the least cost. Now, I'm not here trying to sell you on that. I told you, if you want to know more about that, inbox me at BobTVNYC. At gmail.com. This service is nationwide, and they do have a 24-hour service too. And at least get educated before you get protected. And I'm here to educate you on it. Just hit my inbox or hit my email. But yeah, guys, don't let these people violate your rights. Go find out your right and start walking in it, and be bold and get in their face about it, because they're bowling in your face about what they're being ordered to do. And believe me, it is an order, and people are just following orders. You ain't got to be that way. I'm Bobby Brown with the Bobby Brown Show. I'll holler at you later. Peace.